This is the video called How Stupid Can a PhD Physicist Be? And the answer is pretty damn stupid. I'm a physicist, I have a PhD, so what? Means you're an idiot that did a lot of studying and you can regurgitate stuff, but you can't actually synthesize it or spontaneously manifest intelligence, much less wisdom. So it turns out I love following experiments done with magnetism by scientists and physicists. So they decided to experiment on a lot of bugs by sticking them in, I think, 1.5 Tesla Gaussian magnetic fields and magnetizing bugs. You know, and all good experimentation's good. And of course, descriptions are not explanations, and taking the output data and having the brains to know what it's saying is something else that can't be taught in school or college. So anyway, these scientists, these knuckle-dragging morons, found out that the living bugs averaged about 50 minutes, and they put the bugs in a strong magnetic field, turned off the field, and wanted to see how long the bugs would stay magnetized. So the living critters stay magnetized for about 50 minutes on average. And I'm reading here, by contrast, it took almost 50 hours, 50 minutes versus 50 hours, for the dead bugs to lose their magnetic field, for the decay to finalize. So 50 minutes for living ones. And then the summation, this is what they said. This raises an obvious question. Why is there a difference? So, you know, these are the people with PhDs and access to million-dollar equipment, and they can't figure out let me tell you what a scientist is like, too. I'm going to make the perfect analogy for you using this radio. These scientists couldn't figure out why these living bugs really wouldn't hold a magnetic field, but the dead ones would hold a magnetic field for a long time. So what's the difference? The only difference is they're dead, you know. Ultimately, empirically, they're the exact same thing, living and dead, right? So why is there a difference? Well, stupid, life itself, which is not quantifiable since you cannot... See, this is what scientists are. Scientists are mathematicians, meaning they're scumbags, bean counters. Tesla railed about mathematicians rather than scientists. Tesla called them people that could see deeply but not clearly. It's like someone that's a master on the calculator, but you know they stick their finger in a light socket and kill themselves. Or, you know, they're stupid. Life has a bioelectric nature to it, and that nature is dielectric. If you want to call it electrostatic, I don't really care. Mother Nature doesn't care what the hell you call it. Anyway, this is the nature of life. You know, and your muscles are moving. There's dielectric charges passing through every little neuron, you know, in your brain and your muscles, you know, you're living. But from the perspective of the mathematician, who is now a modern scientist, but who is not a scientist in the true Platonic sense, they can't figure out what the difference is between these dead bugs and the living bugs and the huge disparity of holding the magnetic charge. Well, it turns out the qualitative nature of the dead bug, not the quantitative nature of the dead bug, is that it is, wait for it, not alive. And in so being not alive, and having the incapacity of retroductive, logical Platonic thought, they cannot understand that a dead bug has no dielectric or electrostatic surge moving through it. And it is the nature of the dielectric, i.e. the current of life, if you will, or the electricity of life, that it destroys the magnetic. You see, magnetism is the dielectric field, and the dielectric destroys magnetism. The reason why the living bugs held only a 50-minute charge of magnetism and stumped these stupid scientists is because the dielectric charge of life destroyed and decayed and diminished the magnetic field. There we go. So that's the answer. But these people, mind you, with PhDs and access to million-dollar equipment, you see, all the equipment in the world and all the PhDs in the world does not give you common sense nor intelligence, and certainly not wisdom. Cannot figure out why. So that is the answer. I have the answer. It's the same sort of person that thinks that Like, well, what's the difference? Like, there's no soul in the body. Let's draw a further analogy, and this is in complete reference to the living versus the dead bugs. The psychophysical, the corporeal, existential persona non grata in the metaphysical or Platonic sense of this radio being like the human person. When we say, for example, human body has no soul, this is not a denial of the soul. Has implies possession. There is no soul in the body any more than there is a signal inside of the radio. You see, when you smash the radio to bits and you take a scientist, you're like, there's no signal inside of here, you know. There's no difference between a radio that's on, you know, with the pulse of the signal, or the heartbeat of life, if you will, as a loose analogy. There's no difference, you know. The smashed radio is the same thing as an intact one turned on with a signal one. No. You see, this is the consubstantiality of the signal to the radio. There's no more a soul in the body than there is a signal in the radio, nor is there a real fire going on the screen of my monitor here. No, indeedy. No. Nor are there little people inside of your television set. I think there was some story about some dude back in the 50s or something. He's like a dumb redneck, and they brought him a TV set, and he smashed it to find the little people inside. That's a true story, by the way. I don't know where that happened, but that's pretty cute. It's the same sort of thing that we're dealing with these scientists, with PhDs, mind you, and million-dollar equipment. They've done a really fancy experiment, but they can't figure out why there is a diminution of the magnetic field in the living creature. That's because the living creature has an electrostatic or dielectric charge pulsing throughout its entire little exoskeleton body. And that destroys magnetism, because the inverse of magnetism is dielectricity. This is why a dead bug, as they found out, will hold a strong magnetic field charge after being zapped with a strong, I think it's like 1.5 Tesla magnetic field. That's why the dead bugs will hold that, because there is no dielectricity running through that bug, because the bug is dead. And this, folks, is a lesson to you, differentiating out the ability to quantify, i.e. a mathematician, from the ability to synthesize, in other words, put two and two together, but not literally, but being able to intuit what the hell's going on by having a broader comprehension of the nature of how the cosmos works, specifically of field theory, you see, to a scientist, these bugs are exactly like the radio. You know, this is what they're saying in their own words. You know, I don't know why there's a difference. A dead bug's exactly the same as a living one. It's the same weight. You know, all we did was like stick a little pin through its brain and kill it. But it's exactly the same. One's just living. I don't know why there's a difference in retention of the magnetic field. That's because, listen, wait for it. They cannot quantize one key word. Life. The old English term would be to be ensouled. Like the old people say in Old English, like, not a soul was found on the street, mate. Instead of saying a person, they say a soul, you know, like, there's a lot of souls out there in the streets, mate. You know, Old English. You see, you can't plug that into a calculator. You see, this is where wisdom and the ability to synthesize with a strong intellect comes into play. These people are mathematicians. They are not true scientists in the absolute sense of what Tesla railed against and what the Platonists talked about. There's a difference also between Plato and Aristotle. But even Aristotle knew there was a soul. This is a perfect analogy. This is a recent news on study of living versus dead bugs' ability to retain a magnetic field. A perfect analogy, a better analogy, does not exist in this one. It's so perfect. It's the perfect example of stupidity. It's someone who is incredibly smart, but this is episteme. You know, oh, I got a 96 on my doctoral thesis. Yeah, but you're still a fucking idiot. This is why doctors are the second leading cause. I got a PhD. I got a doctoral degree. I prescribe pills. I write prescriptions all day long for Prozac and Valium. It's like, yeah, you're killing people, you scumbag asshole. I'm a doctor. Look at my certificate on the wall. I spent 6 years in college and I still have $50,000 of student debt. Yeah, you're still a dumbass. Okay? You're still a dumbass. This, folks, is why doctors are the second leading cause of death, right after cancer. Breathe. There we go. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Yeah. Yeah. I love debating people. I used to debate people all the time. I miss it. I miss debating people because I'm really good at debating people. People are so illogical. They're either emotional or they're stupid, and both of them will lead you right off a cliff like a lemming. Boom! It's like, which is worse? Being highly emotional or being stupid? Well, they're both neck and neck, heading right off the cliff. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad I could bring this perfect analogy to you. Care of these stupid scientists, in name only. If you like these videos, please click the link below because I'm not sponsored, I have no affiliate links, and any kind of donation is greatly appreciated. Yeah, absolutely greatly appreciated. Lux Veritas, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.